Tutama
Purna Gauri Chaniya Purna Mahisamardini Durga Kali Karali Ghorama Mahisamardini Durga Kali Karali Ghorama Mona Katha Suna Mora Ma Mona Katha Suna Mora Ma Tu Purusa Ki Banari Na Pari Ki Tuti Bari Tu Purusa Ki Banari Na Pari Ki Tuti Bari Adha Kanha Dharai Kibi Ki Uruparama Adha Kanha Dharai Kibi Ki Uruparama Mana Katha Suna Mora Ma Mana Katha Suna Mora Ma Kailasa Uma Vaikunthe Tuhirama Kailasa Uma Vaikunthe Tuhirama Srusti Stiti Laya Kali Brahma Vishnu Sankarama Srusti Stiti Laya Kali Brahma Vishnu Sankarama Mana Katha Suna Mora Ma Mana Katha Suna Mora Ma Jagatara Mata Tuhi Chaitanya Rupini Tuhi Jagatara Mata Tuhi Chaitanya Rupini Tuhi Sakti Swarupini Tuma Ajnana Mora Harama Sakti Swarupini Tuma Ajnana Mora Harama Mona Katha Suna Mora Ma Mona Katha Suna Mora Ma Anyagata Jimatura Situhara Tuhitara माया मोह भूली हेळी बसी तो चरणातळी
माया मोह भूली हेळे बसी तो चरणातळे
माया मोह भूली हेळी बसी तो चरणातळी
माया मोह भूली हेळे बसी तो चरणातळे
गुरुदासंत काळी माडकू परमा
गुरुदासंत काळी माडकू परमा
कथ सुन मोर मन कथ सुन मोर हसीबी आनंद भरे नाचीबी कोळी तोरा कथ सुन मोर मन कथ सुन मोर
Jai Guru. Nigama Upadesa, page 238. Perfection of life. Perfection of life is not achieved only by performing some spiritual rites. Practice dependence on God, surrender completely to Him, take His refuge, sing His victory amongst joys and sorrows, health and sickness, prosperity and adversity. Dedicate your life for welfare of entire world with the knowledge and feeling that God is present in smallest of the small and the biggest of the big. Thus your life will be glorified and you will gain supreme bliss. Take care that you never yield to any doubt in His compassion in the midst of adversity, anxiety, unhappiness, or sorrow and tears. If you depend on Him firmly and patiently, one day He will shoulder all your burden and remove all your wants. If you entrust Him your burden, if you entrust Him your burden, He will surely do your welfare. How can a wound be healed if you obstruct the treatment of the doctors? He concedes his devotees the worldly suffering for their spiritual development on knowing the fact that disease provides the remedies, but but never forget that God is always good. Dear child, remain afloat as before in the oceanic joy, surrendering to Him in the absence of worries and anxiety. If you at interval fall in the willful, know for sure that it is never everlasting. One day you will land with me in the realm of eternal bliss and enjoy the uh, unseen sweetness and essence of love. Jai Guru.
जय गुरु नीलाचल सारस्वत संघ पुरी ब्रांच अमेरिका सारस्वत संघ 887 संघ पूजा सेशन रिपोर्ट पाड़िया युक्ता आराधना माँ स्मितारे माँ डेट November 5th 2023 time 7:15 a.m. to 11:55 a.m. Eastern time. Attendance, the link to attendance sheet is available on AMSAS website. Morning session 7:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. The morning session of Puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratiksha. Pravina Ma sang Asa Asa Rasaraja Rasa Bihari and Arpita Ma sang Janae Pade Jodi Karahe Karuna Kara song. During that time, all the devotees joined the puja at Nigamasruti Mandira or via teleconference. Sanajit Bhai offered Arati to Sri Sri Thakura. Smita Bhai Ma led Bandai Guru Charana and Shrota Bandana. After Shrota Bandana, Anjana Ma read Sri Sri Guru Gita Shloka 55. Braja Bhai led Parja Patra Patha, followed by Sammelani Prathana. Shivani Dibedi Ma read Sangha Sevaka 55 year, part 3. Bandana, Prathana o Prathanakarinka Prati. We learned about the importance of prayer. With sincere prayer, strong devotion and full concentration, one can achieve the highest spiritual state. Everyone should follow Sri Sri Thakura's advice and follow the minimum 5 spiritual practices. 1. Meditating regularly. 2. Worshipping Sri Sri Thakura every morning and evening. 3. Maintaining Sattvika Ahara and Sattvika Chinta. 4. Attending Sangha Puja regularly and performing some seva. 5. Avoiding any grudge against anyone. After Sangha Sevaka Patha, Aradhanama invited Sri Sri Thakura and Bhaktas to attend the second session. The first session was concluded with Jayaguru Mahanama Kirtana. Balya Bhoga was offered to Sri Sri Thakura Maharaj. All Bhaktas were served with prasada. Second session, 9:45 a.m. to 11:55 a.m. The second session of puja started at 9:45 a.m. with Pratiksha. Amritama sang Mujhe Asare Ganuchi Dina and Sukanya Ma sang Asahe Parama Sundara song. Asana was opened with Bhavabandhana Mochana Pranamagana Linama sang Kisundara Ha Kimadhura Sate Tumarupadara Sana Bandana song. This was followed by Parichapatra Patha by Shivani Divedima. Shivani Mahantima sang Vishwapati Pranama. Susima read Nigama Upadesa, page 237, God's agony. Sri Sri Thakura said, depend on God and become fearless. Following this, Subhendu Bhai read the minutes of the last Sangha Puja held on October 29th. Aradhana Ma read Pancha Sanyasini Sisya, page 149 to 152. We read the chapter of Sanyasini Santimai Devi. We learned how Kusuma Kumari came to know about Sri Sri Thakura and his devotees and his divine power to cure diseases. Rasmi Chaudhuri Ma sang Prathana Sangita Akhira Luhare Sakati Kahimo Tuma Pain Jharu Thiba. Lipsita Ma read Samsara Pathe Part 1, Chapter 35. Why are householders engulfed in Maya? We learned about King Suratha and the businessman Samadhi and how both were trapped under the illusion Maya. Janabhai led the QA session. He summarized the Sangha Sevaka reading from the morning. YA session started with Anhik singing Prathana song Charana Tumara Saragu Bali. Shriyama conducted YA session. After reading the story, the king and the peon, young aspirants shared their thoughts on satisfaction and expressing gratitude. After the YA session ended, Yukta, Aradhanama and Smitarema did Bhavavinimaya Seva. Then Smitarema invited Sri Sri Thakura for the Madhyana Bhoga and evening puja. Shreya and Gurudas Bhai invited Sri Sri Thakura to the next Sangha Puja to be held on November 12th, 2023. Smitarema prayed for forgiveness from Sri Sri Thakura on behalf of all the Sevaka Sevikas for any mistake with the Seva. The session was concluded with the Vidaya Prathana Dinanath, Ehi Bhikya, sung by Uditama. Asan was closed with Joy Guru Namakirtana and Pranam. Jit Bhai took attendance for Bhais and Mas. Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Sisi Thakura, followed by Prasad Sevana by all Bhais, Mas and young aspirants at Nigama Smriti Mandira. Joy Guru. Sri Sri Thakura Janasita, Yukta, Aradhanama, Vitarema. Joy Guru.
जय गुरु नीलाचल ठाकुर निगमानंद आत्मनिवेदन लीलामा लेखार नम परमहंसाय निगमानंद स्वरूपिणे 1369 साल रे अविस्मरणीय निबंध रे एही पुस्तकर प्रथम सूचना इतिमध्ये उक्त निबंधमाला 1374 साल रे बांग्लार साधनाय निगमानंद पुस्तक आकार रे प्रकाशित होईगला। काल विचार रे अग्रणी हेले मध्य एही पुस्तकर आत्मप्रकाश रे काहींकि एते विलंब ହେଲା ताहार कारण अछि। युक्तिनिष्ठ विद्गद समाज को तृप्त करबा भली तत्व और तथ्य समन्वय रे श्री श्री ठाकुरंकर गोटे पूर्णांग जीवनी अविलंबे प्रयोजन एही प्रेरणा ही एही ग्रंथर उद्भव। सुतरां से क्षेत्र रे प्रथित जसा मनीषी श्रीमद निर्मलानंद सरस्वती अभिजात रुचि और मेधा शाणित पर्यवेक्षण एवं तदीय छात्र वेदांताचार्य श्रीमद सत्यानंद सरस्वती बुद्धि निर्भर मननशीलता प्रति विशेष पक्षपात प्रतिपदरे मोर दिक् निर्णय करिछि। किंतु यही पुस्तक गोटे नारी प्राणर तापरे उद्भिन्न एवं ताहार सीमित बुद्धिर आलोकरे उत्पन्न फसल। तेणु प्रथमरु ही यही लेखा संबंध रे कुंठा संकोचर अंत नथिला। स्वर्गत बनमाली भाई कथा मन पड़ुछि। आर्य दर्पण 1369 वैशाख ज्येष्ठ संख्या द्वय अविस्मरणीय प्रबंध लेखि शेष करिथिली। से ताहा पाठ करी स्वतःप्रवृत भाव मते लिखिले, लीला तुमे चित्रकर हेल नहीं कहीं एथिपाई आक्षेप करिछ। ताहा हेले तुली धरी छवि अंकन करी देखाइबा पाई ठाकुरंकर जो चित्र तुम स्मृति रे निहित अछि काली कलम द्वारा यही रचना तो सही छवि अंकन व्यतीत अन्य किछि नुहे। एतिकिरे शेष कल कहीं आहुरी लेख। से निजे सुपंडित और सुलेखक तांको ठारो उत्साह लाभ करी पुणी कलम धरिली। मध्य मध्य विराम घटुए यही भाव में 12 वर्ष बीतीगला। आज मध्य मोर द्विधा संशयर निरसन होई नाही। जहाँ वर्णना करने को इच्छा करिछि ताहा केते दूर संभव होइछि दिय गढ़िबा को जाई बानर गठन करि नहीं तो यही आशंका ही कालक्षेपर हेतु। स्मृति और बोधशक्तिर कौन बयस सीमा नहीं। आधुनिक विज्ञान मध्य ताहा स्वीकार करे बुद्धिर क्रिया जेतेबेले स्तंभित मन अपरिणत सेतेबेले यही दुईटीर अस्तित्व थाई पारे। सुतरां नित्यांत बाल्यकाल देखिथिले मध्य ठाकुरंग संपर्क रे केतक अत्युज्ज्वल स्मृति एवं गोटे आश्चर्य महिमाबोध मोर निजस्व पुंजी। परिणत बयस रे मन बुद्धि द्वारा ताहार मूल्य निरूपण करी भाषा रे प्रकाश कले जहा हुए ताहा ही यही पुस्तकर मूल भीति। सत्यदा शक्तिदा और दुर्गाचरण भाई सारस्वत संघर यही 3 जन सुसाहित्यिक क्रमान्वय बारंबार मते आश्वास प्रदान करि नथिले सामान्य एतिकी संबल नहीं जनता सम्मुख रे सद्गुरु निगमानंद प्रसंग आलोचना करिया भली दुस्साहस मोर केबे होई न थांता। अतीत आड़क फेरी चाहूँगी। श्रीक्षेत्र सिंधु सैकतरे पूर्वमुख हो दंडायमान सूर्योदय देखी। रात्रिर अंधकार सेतेबेलकु संपूर्ण दूर होई नाही। दूर रे अंधारिया झाऊबण तरंग धौत मसन आर्द बालुकार अक्षत चिक्कण आस्तरण उपरे रंग बेरंगर केतक शामुका ताहाकु गोटाई नेबा लोक एपर्यंत आसी नाहांती। पूर्वाकाश आलोकित हो आसुथाए। विकीर्ण रश्मि सवितांक अदृश्य छटामंडल गोटे प्रभातरल ज्योति उदेति वसुधा तलात्। समुद्र और आकाशर जोठारे मिलन सही दिग्बलय गोटे मुक्त अस्वच्छ आभा फुटी उठी थाए। सागर बक्षरे क्षीण कुहुलिकार अनबद्य आवरण ଶାନ୍ତ ତରଙ୍ଗ ସମୁଦ୍ର ସତେ ଯେପରି ଚନ୍ଦ୍ରାଳସ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଢେଉ କୂଳରେ ମଥା ପିଟୁଥାଏ। ସିନ୍ଧୁର ଗର୍ଜନ ନାହିଁ, କେବଳ ମୃଦୁ ମର୍ମର। ତେଣେ ପୂର୍ବାଚଳରେ କିଏ ଯେପରି ରଙ୍ଗ ତୁଳି ବୁଲାଇ ଆଣୁଥାଏ। ମୁକ୍ତର ଲାବଣ୍ୟ ଲୋହିତ ଛଟାରେ ଉପରଞ୍ଜିତ ହୋଇଗଲା। ପ୍ରତି ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ରଙ୍ଗର ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ। ଏହି କ୍ଷଣି ଗୋଲାପୀ ଓ ପର ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ଡାଳିମ୍ବ ଫୁଲିଆ ରଙ୍ଗ। ପୁଣି ତାହା ଯେପରି ସିନ୍ଦୁର ଆଭା ଧାରଣ କରିଛି କିମ୍ବା ଅଗ୍ନିବର୍ଣ୍ଣ। ଦିଗ୍ବଳୟରେ ମେଘ ନଥିଲେ ସୁନିଲି ଆଭା ଅଧିକ ପରିମାଣରେ ଫୁଟି ଉଠେ। ତତ୍ପରେ ଚାହୁଁ ଚାହୁଁ ସମୁଦ୍ରର ସୀମାନ୍ତ ଲଗ୍ନ ଉଦୟାଚଳରେ ସ୍ୱର୍ଣ୍ଣଭାର ଗୋଟିଏ ରେଖା ଦେଖାଦେଲା ଏବଂ ଆଲୋକ ଝଲକରେ ଚକ୍ଷୁ ଚମକାଇ ନିମିଷ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ତାହା ଅର୍ଦ୍ଧବୃତ୍ତାକାର ଅଗ୍ନିକଳା ସଦୃଶ ପ୍ରତୀତ ହେଲା। ଭାସ୍ୱର ଜବାରାଗରେ ଆକାଶ ସମୁଦ୍ର ଉଦ୍ଭାସିତ କରି ଚକ୍ଷୁ ପଲକରେ ପୂର୍ବାକାଶରେ ଭାସି ଉଠିଲା ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟବିମ୍ବର ଏକ ଚତୁର୍ଥାଂଶ। ସତେ ଯେପରି ତାହା ଓଲଟାଇ ରଖାଯାଇଥିବା ଏକ ହାଣ୍ଡି ସଦୃଶ। ଆଲୋକରେ ଚରାଚର ଉଦ୍ଭାସିତ। ମସ୍ତକ ଉପରେ ପ୍ରଭାତର ପ୍ରସନ୍ନ ଆକାଶ, ନିମ୍ନ ଦେଶରେ ସମୁଦ୍ର ବକ୍ଷରେ ତାହାର ପ୍ରତିଫଳନ। ନୀଳିମାରେ ନୀଳ, କେବଳ ପାର୍ଥକ୍ୟ ଏତିକି, ଊର୍ଦ୍ଧ୍ୱ ଦେଶରେ ଯାହା ପ୍ରଶାନ୍ତ ଅକ୍ଷୁବ୍ଧ, ଅଧୋ ଦେଶରେ ତାହା ଉର୍ମିମୁଖର। ପ୍ରାତଃକାଳୀନ କ୍ଷୀଣ ତରଙ୍ଗରେ ବାଳ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟଙ୍କ ଅରୁଣ ଆଭାର ଝଲକ। ଦୂରରେ ସେହି ଅନନ୍ୟ ସମ୍ପୃକ୍ତ ସନ୍ଧିଭୂମିରେ ଦୁର୍ନିରୀକ୍ଷ ମହାଦ୍ୟୁତି ଜାଜୁଲ୍ୟମାନ। ଭାଗବତ ପ୍ରବକ୍ତା ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଏହି ଛବି ଦର୍ଶନ କରିଥିଲେ। ତେଣୁ ସେ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି, କଳ୍ପ ପ୍ରଭାତରେ ସହସା ଏକାର୍ଣ୍ଣବରୁ ଗୋଟିଏ ପଦ୍ମକୋଷ ଉତ୍ଥିତ ହେଲା। ତାହା କିପରି ଜାଣ? ସ୍ୱରୋଚିଷା ତତ୍ସଲିଳଂ ବିଶାଳଂ ବିଦ୍ୟୋତୟନ୍ ଅର୍କୈବ। ଭାଗବତ 3:8-14। ଜ୍ୟୋତିର କନକ ପଦ୍ମଟି ଠିକ୍ ଏହିଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଚିରକାଳ ଶ୍ରୀକ୍ଷେତ୍ରର ବିଶାଳ ସିନ୍ଧୁବକ୍ଷ ଆଲୋକିତ କରି ସହସା ଆବିର୍ଭୂତ ହୋଇଥାଏ। ଆକାଶ ଓ ସମୁଦ୍ର ଋଷିଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ବିରାଟ ପୁରୁଷଙ୍କର ରହସ୍ୟ ଗମ୍ଭୀର ପ୍ରତିରୂପ। ଆକାଶ ତାଙ୍କର ବ୍ରାହ୍ମୀ ତନୁ, ସମୁଦ୍ର ମହାପ୍ରାଣର ଦ୍ୟୋତକ, ନିର୍ଗୁଣ ଓ ସଗୁଣ, ଶିବ ଓ ଶକ୍ତି। ନୀଳ ସମୁଦ୍ରର ଫେନୋଦ୍ବେଳିତ ଅସଂଖ୍ୟ ତରଙ୍ଗ, ନୀଳାଞ୍ଜନ ସମପ୍ରଭ ବିଷ୍ଣୁଙ୍କର ଅନନ୍ତ ଶଯ୍ୟା। ସୃଷ୍ଟିର ଆରମ୍ଭରେ ସେହି ସାଗର ବକ୍ଷରୁ ହିଁ ପ୍ରାଣ ପ୍ରଜାନାଂ ଉଦୟତ୍ୟେଷ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟଃ। ଦେବକାବ୍ୟର ଏହି ଛତ୍ରଟି ପ୍ରତି ପ୍ରଭାତର ନୀଳାଚଳର ପୂର୍ବକାଶରେ ଅଙ୍କିତ ହୋଇଯାଉଛି। ଶୈଶବରେ କେବେ ସାଗରରେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟୋଦୟ ଦର୍ଶନ କରିଥିଲି ତାହା କହିପାରିବି ନାହିଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରଥମ ଦର୍ଶନର ସେ ବିସ୍ମୟ କେବେହେଲେ ଲୟ ଭିଜି ନାହିଁ। ଯେତେଥର ଦେଖିଛି ସେତେଥର ଏହି ମହିମବୋଧ, ସେନ୍ସ ଅଫ୍ ସବ୍ଲିମିଟି, ଅଜ୍ଞାତରେ ସତେ ଯେପରି କାହା ପାଦ ତଳେ ମୋର ଶିରକୁ ନୁଆଇଁ ଦେଇଛି। ସେହି ତ ସାକ୍ଷାତ ଚାରୁବ୍ରହ୍ମ। ପୁନଶ୍ଚ ଏଣେ ଉତ୍ତରାକାଶରେ ନୀଳଚକ୍ର ଶିର ତୋଳି ବିରାଜମାନ। ସେଠାରେ ବିରାଜିତ ଦାରୁବ୍ରହ୍ମ। ମହାମ୍ଭୁଦେସ୍ତିରେ କନକ ରୁଚିରେ ନୀଳ ଶିଖରେ। ଗୌଡ଼ୀୟ ମହାପ୍ରଭୁ ଏ କାହାର କଥା କହିଛନ୍ତି? ସମୁଦ୍ର ତୀରରେ ସ୍ୱର୍ଣ୍ଣଭା ବିକିରଣ କରି ନୀଳାକାଶରେ ପରିଦୃଶ୍ୟମାନ ଯେଉଁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ଜ୍ୟୋତି, ଶ୍ରୀ ଚୈତନ୍ୟ କଣ ତାଙ୍କୁ ହିଁ ସମ୍ବୋଧନ କରି କହୁଛନ୍ତି, ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ସ୍ୱାମୀ ନୟନ ପଥଗାମୀ ଭବ ତୁମେ। ପୁରୁଷୋତ୍ତମ ଧାମର ଆକାଶ ବତାସରେ ମହାପ୍ରଭୁଙ୍କର ଏହି ଜଳଦ ଗମ୍ଭୀର ଆହ୍ୱାନ ଚିର ନିନାଦିତ। ସାଗରର ତରଙ୍ଗ ଗର୍ଜନରେ ବୋଧହୁଏ ତାହାର ପ୍ରତିଧ୍ୱନି। ଅହୋରାତ୍ର ଏକ ତାଳରେ ଉଚ୍ଚାରିତ ଅନିଶେଷ ସମାଗମ। ভেদিয়া ধরার রণ হুঙ্কার, ভেদি বণিকের ধন ঝঙ্কার, মহাকাশ তলে উঠে ওঙ্কার, কোনো বাধা ନାହିଁ মানি। ଓଡ଼ିଆ ରୂପାନ୍ତର, ଭେଦିଣ ଧରାର ରଣ ହୁଙ୍କାର, ଭେଦିଣ ବଣିକ ଧନ ଝଙ୍କାର, ମହାକାଶ ତଳେ ଉଠେ ଓଙ୍କାର, ନମାନଇ ବାଧା ବିଘ୍ନ। ପ୍ରାଚୀନ ଗଣ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବୋଧହୁଏ ଏହାକୁ କହିଥାନ୍ତି ଶଙ୍ଖକ୍ଷେତ୍ର। ମନ୍ଦିରର ମଣିମଣ୍ଡପରେ ପଞ୍ଜୀଭୂତ ଅନ୍ଧକାର, ତାହାରି ଭିତରେ ଏକ କ୍ଷୁଦ୍ର ପ୍ରଦୀପ ତୋଳି ଦେବତାଙ୍କର ଆରତି ହେଉଥାଏ। ଏହି କ୍ଷୀଣ ଆଲୋକରେ ଜଗବନ୍ଧୁଙ୍କୁ କିଭଳି ଭାବେ ଦେଖିଲି, ଚତୁଃପାର୍ଶ୍ୱର ଘନ ଅନ୍ଧାର ସଙ୍ଗରେ ମିଶି ଯାଇଛି ମୁଖର ଘୋର କଳା ରଙ୍ଗ। କେବଳ ଜକଜକ ଦିଶୁଥାଏ ପ୍ରକାଣ୍ଡ ଚକ୍ଷୁ ଦୁଇଟା। କଳା ଉପରେ ଧଳା ରଙ୍ଗର ଦୁଇଟି ବଡ଼ ଗୋଲକ ଅଙ୍କନ କରି ଦେବଶିଳ୍ପୀ ଯେପରି କହିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା କରିଛନ୍ତି, ମୁଖ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ସେହି ଚକ୍ଷୁ ଦୁଇଟି ତାଙ୍କର ମୁଖ୍ୟ। ଦିବିବ ଚକ୍ଷୁରାତତମ୍। ଆକାଶରେ ତାଙ୍କରି ଶଶି ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ନେତ୍ର ପ୍ରଜ୍ୱଳିତ ଅନ୍ଧକାର ଗର୍ଭଗୃହରେ ସେହି ନେତ୍ର ଯେପରି ଅନିମେଷ ଭାବରେ ଦର୍ଶନପାଥୀଙ୍କ ଆଡ଼କୁ ଅନାଇ ରହିଛି। ବିରାଟ ପୁରୁଷଙ୍କ ହୃଦୟ ଯେ ସମୁଦ୍ର, ସେ ଉପମା ବେଦରେ ଲିପିବଦ୍ଧ ଅଛି। ଋଗ୍ବେଦ 4:58-11। ସେଥିରୁ ପ୍ରଜ୍ଞାନ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ପୁରୀ ଧାମସ୍ଥ ଗୋବର୍ଦ୍ଧନ ମଠର ମହାବାକ୍ୟ। ପ୍ରଜ୍ଞାନ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଙ୍କ ଉଦୟନ ସମୁଦ୍ର ତଟରେ ନିତ୍ୟ ପ୍ରତୀକ୍ଷ। ସେହି ହୃଦୟ ପୁଣି ଗୋଟିଏ କ୍ଷୁଦ୍ର ପଣ୍ଡରିକ ବେଶ୍ମ ହୃଦୟ ପଦ୍ମ ରୂପରେ ଜୀବଦେହର ବକ୍ଷାଭ୍ୟନ୍ତରରେ ବିଦ୍ୟମାନ। ପୁନଶ୍ଚ ସେହି ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସେଠାରେ ଜ୍ୟୋତିରିବ ଅଧୁମକୋ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆତ୍ମନି ତିଷ୍ଠତି। ଦେହ ରଥର ସେ ବାମନ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତଥାପି ସେ ଈଶାନ ଭୂତବାସ୍ୟ ଶ୍ରୀକ୍ଷେତ୍ରର ମହାନିମ୍ବକାଷ୍ଠ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଏହି ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ଦାରୁବ୍ରହ୍ମ। ଜଡ଼ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ନିଗୁଡ଼ ଚିତ୍ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟର ଅଗ୍ନିକଣା। ତେଣୁ ସେ ଆଚଣ୍ଡାଳ ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ମହାପ୍ରଭୁ। ମହାପ୍ରଭୁ ଶ୍ରୀ ଚୈତନ୍ୟ କହିଲେ, ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ମୋର ଗୋପୀ ବଲ୍ଲଭ ଶ୍ରୀକୃଷ୍ଣ। ବିଶ୍ୱ ପ୍ରକୃତି ରୂପା ରାଧାଙ୍କର ହୃଦୟ ବଲ୍ଲଭ। ପୁରୀ ଧାମ ସେହି ହୃଦୟ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଙ୍କ ପୁରୀ। ହୃଦୟଂ ବୈଂ ପରମ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ। ବୃହଦାରଣ୍ୟକ ଉପନିଷଦ 4:1-7। ପୁରୀର ଆନନ୍ଦ ବଜାରରେ ସନାତନ ଧର୍ମୀ ହିନ୍ଦୁ ବେଦ ବିଧି ଭୁଲି 36 ଜାତି ସଙ୍ଗରେ ଏକ ପଂକ୍ତିରେ ବସି ମହାପ୍ରସାଦ ସେବନ କରନ୍ତି। କାରଣ ତାଙ୍କ ପ୍ରସାଦ ଉଚ୍ଛିଷ୍ଟ ନୁହେଁ। ତାଙ୍କରି ପ୍ରସାଦରେ ତାଙ୍କଠାରେ ମତିରତି ହୁଏ। ନୈଷା ତର୍କେଣ ମତିରାପନୟା ନ ମେଧୟା ନ ବହୁନା ଶ୍ରୁତେନ। ସମସ୍ତ ସାଧନାର ଶେଷ କଥା ହେଉଛି ହୃଦୟର ଗ୍ରନ୍ଥି ମୋଚନ। ବିଶ୍ୱ ଜଗତକୁ ବିଶ୍ୱେଶ୍ୱରଙ୍କ ପ୍ରକାଟ ବିଗ୍ରହ ଜ୍ଞାନ କରି ଆଲିଙ୍ଗନ କରିବା। ପର ଆପଣା ଭେଦ ଜ୍ଞାନ ହିଁ ଅବିଦ୍ୟା। ତାହା ହିଁ ହୃଦୟ ଗ୍ରନ୍ଥି। ଏହି ଗ୍ରନ୍ଥି ଯାହାଙ୍କର ଉନ୍ମୁକ୍ତ ହୋଇଛି, ତାଙ୍କରି ପରାବର ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ଦର୍ଶନ ହୋଇଛି ବୋଲି ଜାଣିବାକୁ ହେବ। ତାଙ୍କ କୃପା ନହେଲେ ଏହା ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ। ପୁରୁଷୋତ୍ତମ ଧାମର ଏହି ସବୁ ଅନନ୍ୟ ବୈଶିଷ୍ଟ୍ୟ ଅତି ଶୈଶବରୁ ମୋ ଚିତ୍ତ ଉପଟରେ ମୁଦ୍ରିତ ହୋଇ ରହିଛି। ବୟସ ହେବା ପରେ ବୁଝିପାରିଛି ଯେ ଉଦାର ବିଶ୍ୱ ବ୍ୟାପକ ସାର୍ବଭୌମ ହିନ୍ଦୁ ଧର୍ମର ବୈଚିତ୍ର୍ୟ ଚରିତ୍ରକୁ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ କ୍ଷେତ୍ର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଦିଗରୁ ପ୍ରକଟ କରିଛି। ତେଣୁ ଶ୍ରୀକ୍ଷେତ୍ର ପୁରୁଷୋତ୍ତମ ଧାମ ଓ ଠାକୁର ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ଆଜି ମୋ ସ୍ମୃତିରେ ମିଳିତ ହୋଇ ଏକ ହୋଇ ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି। ସଦ୍ଗୁରୁ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ତାଙ୍କ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଚାରୀ ସେବକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ କରି କହିଛନ୍ତି, ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରାଦି ପାଠ କରି ଜ୍ଞାନ ଅର୍ଜନ କରିପାର, କିନ୍ତୁ ହୃଦୟ ଯେଉଁ ଜିନିଷ ତାହା ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ମଧ୍ୟରେ ନାହିଁ। ତାପରେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ସହିତ ଯଦି ହୃଦୟର ସଂଯୋଗ ନ ହେଲା, ସେଭଳି ଜ୍ଞାନ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଅପରର ଯଥାର୍ଥ ହିତ ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ। ଉପଦେଶାମୃତ ପୃଷ୍ଠା 50। ତାପରେ ଉପଦେଶାମୃତ ପୃଷ୍ଠା 81ରୁ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଆବଶ୍ୟକ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେହି ଜ୍ଞାନକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ପ୍ରେମରେ ପରିଣତ କରିବାକୁ ହେବ। କେବଳ ଶୁଷ୍କ ଜ୍ଞାନରେ କିଛି ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ତୁମେମାନେ ଅପରର ଦୁଃଖ ଦୈନ୍ୟରେ ବିଚଳିତ ନ ହୋଇ ରହିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ, ସେତେବେଳେ ଯାଇ ବୁଝିପାରିବ ଯେ ତୁମେମାନେ ଯଥାର୍ଥ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଲାଭ କରିଛ। ତୁମେମାନେ ଆଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଶଙ୍କରଙ୍କ ଭଳି ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ଓ ଗୌରାଙ୍ଗ ଦେବଙ୍କ ଭଳି ହୃଦୟବାନ ହୁଅ। ଏହା ହିଁ ମୋର ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ। ସୁତରାଂ ହୃଦୟ ହିଁ ପରମ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ। ସହଜ କଥାରେ ଜୀବମାନଙ୍କୁ ନାରାୟଣ ଜ୍ଞାନରେ ସୁଖ ପାଇ ସେବା କରିବା ଯେ ପରମହଂସ ସଂହିତା ଭାଗବତର ଚରମ ବାଣୀ। ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ଏହି ସତ୍ୟକୁ ସମାଜରେ ନୂତନ ଭାବରେ ପ୍ରଚାର କରିବାକୁ ଆସିଥିଲେ। ସେ କେବେ ହେଲେ ବିରକ୍ତ ଉଦାସୀନ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ ନଥିଲେ। एकदा से तांकर जने बाल्यबंधु को लिखिथिले, भाई मु मध्य जने गृही, तुमे केते जनकर चिंता कर, केते जनकर अन्न संस्थान कर, केते समय बा कार्य कर, मो कार्य जे सीमा सीमा संख्या नहीं। मु भावे मु जदि 10 जन होइथांती तेबे प्राण भरी 10 जनकर सेवा करि पारंती। ठाकुरेर चिठी 151। माया राज्य रे से 30 वर्ष काल तांकर अगणित संतान संतति को नहीं विराट गृहस्थली रचना करी शिव भली संसार करि जाइछंती। सेमानंकु नहीं ठाकुरंक हृदय रे परिचय फुटी उठिथिला, किंतु समस्तंकु चिन्हिबा दूरे थाउ तांक संतान मानंक मध्यरु अधिकांशंक नाम मध्य अद्यावधि मु जाने नाही। जे मानंकु चिन्हिछि जानिछि, ठाकुरंक कथा कहिबाकु जाई सेमानक मध्यरु केते जनंक कथा लिखिछि। श्री ठाकुर कहती गोटे बापर
रखि दिंतु छुरी खंडे हेतला।
जय गुरु। नीलाचल ठाकुर निगमानंद. It's written by Narayani Ma. In this chapter, Atma Nivedana, she is expressing basically how this book started. She's saying there was the first mention of the book Nilachara Thakura Nigamananda in Saal 1369 in the article Avismaraniya. It was then published as Bangla Sadhanai Nigamananda in Saal 1374. There is a reason why the publication was delayed. The motivation came from the strong desire to write a complete biography of Sri Sri Thakura for the greater good of the society. The book took great inspiration and directions from Srimad Nirbanananda Saraswati, who is also mentioned as Sri Anirban, and Srimad Satyananda Saraswati. There are some further inspirations from Banamali Bhai and Durgacharan Bhai also. Banamali Bhai specifically asked Ma to drive even further and use her pen as a paintbrush of an artist and picture and illustrate Sri Sri Thakura more vividly. So Ma is saying that this book is just a narration from the memories of my childhood. This would not have been possible without the continuous motivations of Satyada, Satyada, and Durgacharana Bhai. Then she's remembering her past. She's describing the beauty of the horizon on the coast at Puri, the sunrise, which is equal to none. She's feeling the presence of Thakura, or the supreme power, in the vastness of the sky, as if it's his Brahmitanu, and the ocean feels like his Mahaprana, both Saguna and Nirguna. The divinity of them merging together made her feel the Charu Brahma and the Daru Brahma, the magnificent, the mighty Nila Chakra in Sri Khetra. Probably this is what Sri Chaitanya Prabhu was referring to, Mahambudhe stire Kanaka Ruchire Nila Sikhare, and Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatume. It felt almost as Mahaprabhu is using the sound of the wave to call everyone. Probably that is why it is called Sangha Khetra. Then Ma is remembering seeing Jagabandhu in Mani Mandapa, there in his form of Daru Brahma, as Sri Chaitanya had described in Puri Dham. Sri Mahaprabhu brings all civilizations together, where everyone forgets their caste and origin That is the whole purpose, to accept and embrace the whole universe at his creation, as his creation. We are all his family. Sri Purushottam Dham has embedded this thought in Mass since childhood. Sri Thakura has said in Nigamananda Upadesamrita that only knowledge is not enough, and without heart, feelings for others, being compassionate to the world, we cannot do justice to the knowledge that we have. We need that bhava, prema, love alongside the knowledge. When our heart cannot stop hurting with the trouble and pain of others, before thinking of ourselves, we see others, we think about others, then only we can understand that we have truly attained the knowledge. This is truly said, service to mankind is service to God, and that is Sri Thakura's teaching and guidance to us, which is Siva Jnanare Jiva Seva. Narayanima has expressed that she might not have the opportunity of knowing all of the thousands and thousands of Sri Thakura's disciples and devotees. However, she tried to talk about some of them here in this book. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru. ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
ଶୁଣ ବନ ଶୁଣ ତୁ ଶୁଣ
ବନ ଶୁଣ ତୁ
ପସରା ନାହିଁ ମୋ ଜମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
ଶୁଣ ବନ ଶୁଣ ତୁ ପସର ନାହିଁ ମୋ ଜମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
କୋଳ ଛଡ଼ା କଲୁ ମୋତେ ଭୋଗାଇଲୁ ଦୁଃଖ ଯେତେ କୋଳ ଛଡ଼ା କଲୁ ମୋତେ ଭୋଗାଇଲୁ ଦୁଃଖ ଯେତେ ଏବେ ହେଲେ ଆହା ବୋଲି କହୁଛି
ଶ୍ୟାମା
ଦୟା ନ କଲେ ନ କର କର ପଛେ ସାତ ପର ଦୟା ନ କଲେ ନ କର କର ପଛେ ସାତ ପର ନ ନିୟ ମୁଖରୁ ମୋର ନ ନିୟ ମୁଖରୁ ମୋର ଡାକ ହରି ଉମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ନ ନିୟ ମୁଖରୁ ମୋର ଡାକ ହରି ଉମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି
ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
ପଥର ରାଜାର ଝିଅ ପଥରେ ଗଢ଼ା ତୋ ଦେହ
ପଥର ରାଜାର ଝିଅ ପଥରେ ଗଢ଼ା ତୋ ଦେହ
ତୁ କାହୁଁ ପାରିବୁ କରି
ତୁ କାହୁଁ ପାରିବୁ କରି
ସନ୍ତାନର ଦୋଷ କ୍ଷମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା
ତୁ କାହୁଁ ପାରିବୁ କରି ସନ୍ତାନର ଦୋଷ କ୍ଷମା
କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି
ଶ୍ୟାମା
ନ ଧର କୋଳରେ ତୋର ଏତିକି ମାତର କର
ନ ଧର କୋଳରେ ତୋର ଏତିକି ମାତର କର
କାନି ପଣ ତ ଛାଇରୁ
କାନି ପଣ ତ ଛାଇରୁ
ତୁରେ ତୁ ତଡ଼ି ଦିଅ ନା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କାନି ପଣ ତ ଛାଇରୁ ତୁରେ ତୁ ତଡ଼ି ଦିଅ ନା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ଶୁଣ
ଜମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ଶୁଣ ବନ ଶୁଣ ପସରା ନାହିଁ ମୋ ଜମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା ମୋ ମନ କଥା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା କହୁଛି ଶ୍ୟାମା।
Jai Guru. Sansar Pathi Part 1, Chapter 35, Why are householders engulfed in Maya? Then both of them went together to see sage Medhasa at his ashram. After offering due respect at the feet of the saint, Surat asked, O revered sage, this businessman and I are suffering immensely because even after having witnessed the fault in material things, we are still attracted to the same by our affection towards them. Why are our minds so agonized for this, for those who have forsaken us? Although we are knowledgeable, what is the reason for this condition? The sage replied, O great one, every living being has material knowledge. They are not considered knowledgeable for that. The knowledge you have is material knowledge. The discernment doesn't arise from this knowledge. The subjects that both of you think you are knowledgeable of are found in every living being, meaning every animal and birds also have the same knowledge about food and shelter. Even with that knowledge, birds overcome with a delusion while hungry will still carry food grains in their beak for their pledging. Although there is no chance of any benefit, still they are ready to sacrifice. Do you know why? In reality, no one has any freedom in this matter. Mahamaya, the universe mother who sustains this world, has also charmed everyone through her illusory power to do these things. Hari, the master of the universe, is also subjugated by this illusory power. This Mahamaya has also forcibly abducted the minds of the knowledgeable. This Mahamaya, when pleased, becomes the provider of liberation. This Maya, the destroyer within the universe, is also embodiment of knowledge. She has created the universe. She is true knowledge. When worshipped, she bestows good intellect. Only through her worship and when she is pleased does knowledge arise. Our knowledge is covered up by this materialistic Mahamaya in order to sustain the universe. This Mahamaya captivates living beings and carries on with the cycle of worldly existence, which is called Sansara Leela. Hence, each living being tempted by the sensory cravings of appearance means rupa and taste means rasa, etc. goes around in the cycle of worldly existence. So Mahamaya, when pleased, released the living beings from these shackles. Hence, great yogi Sadashiva has said, Shakti Jnanam Bina Devi Mukti Rahasya Kalpate. Without the spiritual practice of Shakti, attaining liberation means mukti is laughable and worthless. The practice of Shakti is the spiritual practice of Mahamaya. When advancing beyond the spiritual practices of Shakti, Jiva attains Brahma Sujaja, conjoins with the Brahma. It is also possible to worship God in the form of Mahashakti. Addressing God as mother doesn't mean that God has become a female. God is the supreme being. He is not female. Just as a child stubbornly insists to own mother, the same, when done with God, can be equated to worship of Mahashakti. Our minds are so overpowered by the material world that when we utter the word mother, a form of a beautiful woman automatically arises in our mind. Hence, those who worship Mahashakti should never allow such a form in their mind. The behavior towards one's mother, that of affection, caring, stubborn insistence, when directed towards God, is the spiritual practice of motherly emotion. Mahashakti has an internal relationship with Sri Gurudev. Once one realizes Sri Guru, Mahashakti is also realized. The Universal Mother cannot provide liberation without the permission from Sri Guru. The Universal Mother cannot provide knowledge or devotion without the direction from Sri Guru. When one has privy to the grace of Sri Guru Dev and believes in him, Mahashakti carries a devotee on her lap and turns them over to Sri Gurudev. There is no need to worship the Universal Mother or the one who is the cause of the entire universe at all. However, the worship of the formless Supreme Being, Sri Gurudev, attracts Shakti very quickly. Mahashakti that is within me has her aim fixated on two special devotees and disciples who will get her grace quickly. In order to attract the grace of Mahashakti, whose purview is the infinite universe, the most severe austerities and difficult spiritual practices are needed. However, the grace of Guru Shakti is upon each and every disciple and devotee. Leaving Maya will not work. It needs to be understood. This Maya is the Shakti. One who knows this Maya is Brahman, you are also Brahman. However, you are engulfed by Maya and Maya or qualities. Once you understood the qualities, you can gain the understanding of one's true form, which is Swarupa. At that time, Maya would be under your control. You also achieve eternal bliss, means Brahmananda. Merge your limited desires with the universal desire. Do not harbor separate desires. Merge limited intellect with universal intellect. Only then you will realize the truth. No disturbances or and discomfort will exist then. Eventually, you will be entitled to real bliss. Joy Guru.
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଅମିତା ଭାଇ ପଢୁଥିଲେ ନୀଳାଚଳ ଠାକୁର ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ 2 ପୃଷ୍ଠା ଥିଲା ସରିଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା ସେ ଚାପ୍ଟରଟା ଛାଡ଼ି ଦେଇଥାନ୍ତା କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ଯେ ଏଇଟା ସଂସାର କଥା ବହୁତ ଲମ୍ବା ଅଛି ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ଅଟକେଇଦେଲି and on the top of that ଗୀତଟା ଚାଲିଗଲା ଆମ 10 ମିନିଟ୍ ଶୁଣିବେ ମାତ୍ର 20 ମିନିଟ୍ ଖଣ୍ଡ ସମୟ ଅଛି 2 ମିନିଟ୍ ସମୟ ଅଛି ମାତ୍ର କ୍ୱିକଲି ସଂଘ ସେବକରେ ମେନଲି ସେ ଫୋକସ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଆଚରଣ ଉପରେ ଯଦି ତାକୁ ସେ ନିଧିଧ୍ୟାସନ କହୁଛନ୍ତି मूल फोकस हूँ निधिध्यासन अपेक्षा आचरण हूँ मूल फोकस डिस्कसन मूल फोकस आचरण जे आम जहाँ प्रार्थना करूँ बुझिकी कम न लगे कि तार लाभ ना से कहते पुरुषकार मेन कथा तो कहते दैव पुरुषकार दीटाक दरकार खाली आम कम कर दैव अनुकूल ना हम ना कि खाली दैव उपर निर्भर बस निजे किसी कम कम न करवा से किसी हम ना मैं फलप्रस हम ना तेणु आमको कम करने पड़ो और से दैव पुरुषकार भर मूलटा है आम यदि आम नक कहले आत्मकृपा बिना जीव छाड़ खाड़ देल आम जो किसी नक खाली कहले ठाकुर सब करदे ठाकुर सब करदे यहाँ गोटे देखुची माने केवल आम संघ भी अलग माने दया भगवान दया करेंगे ठाकुर दया करेंगे हो सब ठाकुर दया कले सब हो कहीं दया करेंगे ये मुझे आगुरी थे कही आमर प्रज्ञानंद महाराज पचार श्रुति स्मृति ये विषय जे ठाकुर मैंने भल आंसर देखिए समय तो ना तो डिस्कसन करने बटम लाइन ठाकुर कहीं मत दया कर अन्य कहीं न करेंगे सारा जीव जगत कहीं दया न करेंगे से मत दया कले मैंने जो अनफेयर हो गले सी ना कहीं दया करेंगे मुझे कौनटा करुँ मत कम करा पड़ो गुरु आज्ञा प्रतिपादन करा पड़ो ठाकुर जगह कहले आम कहूँ आम श्री श्री ठाकुर चरण आश्रित आम ठाकुर आश्रय नहीं अमुक धमुक ठाकुर कहले जे प्रकृति आश्रय नहीं समर्पण कर गुरु समर्पित गुरु निर्भरशील तार बेताल पाद पड़ो ना गुरु वाक्य तार बेताल पाद पड़ो ना आम समस्त चिंता करूँ आमर बेताल पाद पड़ू कि ना जदि पड़ुची आम जो मुहे कहूँ ठाकुर निर्भर करूँ ठाकुर आश्रय नहीं आम समर्पित ये सब भंडामी आमर भंडामी छड़ा कि नुहे समय होगा तो डिस्कसन समय नहीं आम जा नेक्स्ट को जीवा दिव्यम प्रार्थना संगीत जय गुरु अंशना माया
भाई जय गुरु भाई मु देखुची भाई दिव्य अच्छी तो बस
हाँ दिव्यम अच्छी प्रार्थना संगीत
हाँ 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 भाई अच्छी देखुनी हाँ भाई गाँव सी गुरु महानंद भाई नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तू ही गुरु नाम गाओ महानंद भाई नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तू ही गुरु चरण बिने मुख्य धाम कहीं भज मूढ़मती गुरु नाम तू ही गुरु नाम गाओ महानंद भाई नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तू ही गुरु कृपा बिने ज्ञान भक्ति कहीं गुरु सेवा बिने सुख शांति नहीं गुरु चरण रेणु अंगे बोल मुक्ति होते प्रणति कर भक्ति अर्घ्य देहि गुरु नाम गाओ महानंद भाई नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तू ही गुरु चिंता बिने सिद्ध जाति कहीं
गुरु भजन बिने गति मुक्ति नहीं, गुरु सखा समान सखा कहीं, गुरु चरणे मग भिक्ष छुही, गुरु नाम गा महानंदे भाई, नाम गायन च छंदे छंदे तू, गुरु नाम सुधा मधु पीते, खेले तारी भव सिंधु नाम गाई, गुरु नाम गंगा जल पुण्य, गुरु नाम गंगा जल पुण्यमयी, बुरी रह तुमन गुरु पद धाई, गुरु नाम गाओ महानंदे भाई, नाम गाई नाच छंदे छंदे तुही, गुरु चरण बिने मुख्य धाम कहीं, भज मूढ़मती गुरु नाम तुही, गुरु नाम गाओ महानंदे भाई, नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तुही, नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तुही, नाम गाय नाच छंदे छंदे तुही. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru and aspirants. We'll start with attendance, and then I'll ask Vivyam to explain the meaning of the song that he just sang. Aditi?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Adhyasa?
Ma Jai Guru ma desa aschi.
Jai Guru ma. Isis?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Anhik?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Ansh? Anshu?
Jai Guru Mani, Ansh is actually busy with something else.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Arnav?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Arun? Arush? Aryan?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Ashrita?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jammu?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Divyam?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Timmy?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Eva? Jagrat?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Naitik?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Pratyusha?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Pratyush? Tanvi?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Saraswat?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Sarthak? Bobby? Shilpi? Shreya?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Manu?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jimmy?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Simran?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Shrija?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Suhani? Yukta?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Okay. Did I miss anyone, or did anyone come after I called on them?
Jai Guru, this is Ansh.
Jai Guru. Anyone else? Okay. Divyam, can you explain the meaning of the song you just sang?
Jai Guru. The meaning of the song is, sing Guru's name joyfully, dance to the tune, for salvation is found within it. Even the ignorant must utter Guru's name. Seek Guru's blessings with unwavering devotion, as knowledge, peace, and happiness are bestowed through Guru's grace. There is no better friend than Guru. Immerse yourself in the nectar of Guru's name, as it is like the sacred Ganga. Do this, and all shall be fulfilled. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Just like every song that we sing in here, this is just another beautiful one about, again, just the power of our Guru and the bond and that relationship and everything that our Guru Thakura is to us, and always these songs are always wonderful reminders of that to us, and put into words that feeling that we have when we're with him, which is often really difficult to describe otherwise, because it's so much and immerses so much. So today we are going to continue reading chapter 5 of the Gita. Last time when
this is Pratyush. I didn't answer when. Oh, sorry. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru Pratyush. I'll mark you as present. Okay, yeah. So last time when we started chapter 5, it starts with Arjuna asking Lord Krishna of, the previous 3 chapters, Lord Krishna was explaining various pathways of basically to salvation, and Arjuna asks the question of which path is superior, the path of sannyas or the path of yoga. And this, what we're going to continue is his explanation of that. But does anyone remember when I say sannyas, or I think the translation has been read as karma sannyas versus karma yoga? What was karma sannyas and what was karma yoga? What were those 2 different pathways that we're discussing? And I think, do you remember what the path of sannyas was that we talked about last time? You what that referred to?
Jai Guru. I don't remember the difference, but I do remember that sannyas was like dedicating your whole life to Thakura. Jai Guru.
Okay, so yes, sannyas is like full renunciation. And in both you do dedicate yourself to Thakura, which we'll talk about later. But in the path of sannyas versus yoga, the difference is in sannyas, it's complete renunciation of the material world. So that's like what Thakura did when he went to find his Gyani Guru. He left behind his family, he left behind everything, and he completely devoted himself in the path of sannyas. So that, when you leave everything behind and that's all you're doing, versus here, and what we're discussing as the path of yoga is you still are in the material world. And I think that the definition that we used last time is a yogi is someone who performs prescribed activities. So you're doing different actions without attachment. So you're still involved in the world, you're just not attached as you do the actions, versus sannyasis, you're not living in regular society, you're completely out of that and focusing only on trying to if you're in the path of jnana, trying to attain that knowledge, and kind of going through the pathway that Thakura did, which is not where any of us are right now, or what we're doing right now. So of those two pathways, having that definition, Shrija, do you remember which pathway Lord Krishna said is better? The renunciation pathway, sannyas, or the still doing the prescribed activities without attachment pathway, yoga?
Jai Karma, it was the Karma Yoga pathway, Jai Guru.
Jai Guru, right. So Lord Krishna then said definitively for people like us, because we're people like Arjuna, that yoga pathway is better. We can't all renounce the world still needs to run. We're not all eligible for that. We're not all in a place where we can do that. So for us, that still acting in the world, but doing that practice of non-attachment, that is the pathway that he recommended. And today we're going to read more about what happens when you engage in that pathway. With that, Pratyush, can you read the verses for today?
Jagger, yes. Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 5, Part 2. Those who dedicate their actions to Brahman, abandoning all attachment, remain untouched by sin, just as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. The yogis, while giving up attachment, perform actions with their body, senses, mind, and intellect only for the purpose of self-purification. A performer of prescribed activities, giving up the desire for the results of activities, obtains uninterrupted peace. But a performer of fruitive activities becomes bound by the obsession to the results of actions due to the desire to enjoy the fruits of action. Mentally renouncing all fruitive activities, the self-controlled, embodied being within the physical body of 9 openings resides happily, free from thinking he is the doer of anything or the cause of anything. Neither the sense of doership nor the nature of actions comes from God, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this enacted by the modes of material nature. The omnipresent God does not involve himself in the sinful or virtuous deeds of anyone. The living entities are deluded because their inner knowledge is covered by ignorance. But of those who this ignorance has been destroyed by the knowledge of the self, that knowledge is like the rising sun illuminated by the ultimate truth. Those whose illusions are dispelled by knowledge, who are endowed with spiritual intelligence, who meditate on the inner self, whose faith is fixed and who have taken complete shelter of the ultimate truth, attain liberation from the material existence. Jager.
Jai Guru. Before we start our discussion, does anyone have any questions about any of the terms or any part of this?
Jai Karma, this is Shrija. In the verse 5.12, like in the last line, it says, but a performer of fruitive activities becomes bound by obsession to the results of action due to the desire to enjoy the fruits of action. What does that mean, Jikra?
Jai Guru. So, first part of that, a performer of fruitive activities, it's meant to make a distinction. So, a performer of prescribed activities, meaning a yogi, someone who is following their duties and doing activities without attachment. So we're referring to someone that's in this, the translation says prescribed activities when someone's doing actions without any attachment to those actions. And when we say a performer of fruitive activities, we're talking about someone who is doing actions and expecting some kind of something to happen at the end. So you're performing actions. When you perform actions with attachment, then we call them fruitive because in this translation, because we're expecting that action to have a fruit of that action, meaning that action is going to have something happen at the end. We're going to get something out of it. So what it's saying is someone who's performing actions with attachment is another way we can think about it, is becoming bound by the obsession to the results of those actions. So if we're doing an action because we think there's going to be some result at the end and we care about that result, then that will make us obsessed with that due to the desire of us to enjoy whatever that result of the action is. Does that answer your question?
Jagerma, yes.
Are there any other questions?
Jaglu, this is Yukta. I was wondering if you could explain verse 513, where it says the physical body of 9 openings reside happily. What are they? What does it mean by the 9 openings?
Yeah, so this is a concept, I think I couldn't trace it all the way back, but it does exist in various places, not just in the Gita, but in one of the commentaries that we've been using for this. Shankaracharya refers to this. It basically is just saying it's just referring to our physical body, and we'll talk more about what verse 513 is, what the main point of that is. But there's this concept of the physical body having 9 openings. This has also been translated as it talks about the physical body instead of saying physical body. It says in some translations as the 9-gated city. The reason it's called that is, if we think about it, we have 7 openings into our body in our head and 2 below. So it's like the eyes, ears, nostrils, mouth, that sort of thing. So it's basically all of our orifices, or all of the entry points into our body. There are 9 when we think about it. And it's just referring to, for our purposes here, just referring to the physical body. And the 9 opening thing does have some significance later, but for our case, it's just referring to that this physical body that we are in has those 9 openings. Does that answer your question?
Jacob, that makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Let's start from the beginning and keep going through there. So for these first 2 lines, first line, verse 10 starts with those who dedicate their actions to Brahman. And then it goes into what happens there. So what does that mean? So you can use the word Brahman, some translations use God, and for us and how we practice, we can think of this as Thakura. So those who dedicate their actions to Thakura, abandoning all attachment. What does that mean? What does it mean to dedicate our actions to Thakura? Sandy, what do you think it means to dedicate our actions to Thakura?
Jaiguru, it means like thinking about Thakura when you're performing them actions and you're thinking that you're doing it for Thakura without any like expectation for anything in return. Jaiguru?
Right. So it's like when we're doing actions, and we've talked about this before. We talk about, well, we're doing it for Takuro. Takuro wants us to do this, so we're acting as, we're physically here, so we're acting on his behalf and doing everything he wants us to do, and we don't expect anything. So that's the non-attachment part. We're just doing and performing actions through him. So when we do that, when we dedicate our actions to Takuro, why does that make us, as it says in verse 10, how does dedicating all of our actions to Takuro help us or cause us to be untouched by sin? Arnav, if we dedicate all our actions to Takuro, why are we untouched by any sins or any results of those actions if we're truly dedicating them to Takuro?
Jaguru, since we're dedicating all of it to Takura, we're basically just saying that like everything we're doing is for Takura, which means that like whatever we do has no impact on us because we don't have any attachment to it. Jaguru?
Jaguru, exactly. If we don't have attachment to the action, then we also don't have attachment to what's happening. It all goes to him. We're following his pathway. It all goes to him, and then he, of course, is completely unattached. He's enlightened and completely embodied in that. So none of those actions and those consequences of those actions affect us because he takes it on and it also doesn't affect him. Good. So then moving on to line 12, we discussed a little bit what the difference between prescribed actions versus actions. So actions with attachment versus actions without attachment. So what it's saying here in verse 12 is two people can perform the same action, one with attachment, one without attachment, and they get different results. So the one without attachment is going to have uninterrupted peace, and the one with attachment becomes bound by the obsession of the results of those actions. So it tells us that there are different results based off of intention. Why is it that you can do the same action and as someone else and get such different results? Aditi?
Jaguru, can you please repeat the question?
So two people can perform the exact same action, one with attachment to the action, one without attachment to the action. Why do they get such different results of those actions? Or why do they feel such different results of those actions?
Jaguru, the person that's attached to the actions gets obsessed with the results of them. So if something goes wrong, they get really frustrated. But the person who is not attached to them, they perform them, and whatever happens, and they're okay with that. And that means that like they just basically like one of them like keeps like trying to do it, and another one just like lets all of it happen. Jaguru?
Right. So when you're not attached, action results happen, you can stay pretty happy because you don't care what's going to happen. You're doing the action. It's as we do it, we dedicate it to Takuro. You're doing the action, whatever happens, happens. You can stay pretty much emotionally the same. Where if you care about the result of the action, then you're going to keep trying over and over again, like you said. So for us in our lives, that's something to think about. Even if we can't do this as a spiritual practice all the time of being completely non-attached, you might have noticed when you have a test or anything big going on in your life. A lot of you talk about it in your Mafu News. You tell Takura about it, and that helps you feel better regardless of what happens. That practicing of non-attachment is something that we can do in our daily lives and practice it with specific things until we get better at it. But we find that we're a lot happier when we dedicate, when we kind of take our attachment away from the result and just tell Takura about it and let him handle it. And that's what we see here, that intention and whether we're performing an action with or without attachment really matters. Okay, so then in this next one, we talked about physical, so line 13, the physical body of 9 openings, what that means. The point in this, and it talks about, again, renouncing all activities with attachment, being self-controlled, which we've been discussing and will continue to discuss. But one point it makes here is that this type of person is a self-controlled embodied being within the physical body, and they reside happily. So it's talking about if you've renounced everything and you know who your true self is. We've discussed this a couple of months before. Who is, so I guess the question is, who is residing in the body? Who is it that resides in the body and can think that they aren't the ones doing the actions and they aren't the cause of any action? What have we discussed? Who is the true self within the body? Hunch?
Jagger, can you repeat the question?
So we talk. This talks about basically there's a self within the body. That's just living in there, is not identifying as the body. What is that true self within the body?
Jaguru, I think that's your Atman, or really the part of Brahman that's inside of you that you can consider as your soul or essence, Jaguru.
Yeah, you're right. So we've talked about this concept of Atma before, which is that part of us, that true part of us that's within our bodies, that if we have true knowledge, then we understand that we are not our body, we are that Atma, and that Atma is a part of the greater Brahman, Sakura, and the universe, and all of us have that. Everything has that. And if we identify ourselves as Atma, then we can think of it as, if we identify that we are Atma, then the way that we would think of our body is as the place where our Atma, our soul, lives in it, like we live in a house, and those two things are not attached. So the body is the one then doing the actions and being the cause of things. The self just lives in that. And so that's where you have this concept of complete non-attachment. So if you identify yourself as the soul versus as the body, if you identify yourself as the soul, you don't see yourself as the doer of actions. That's what a yogi who has reached that pinnacle of knowledge will think. Whereas if we think of ourselves as our body, which we tend to do, then we will see ourselves as the doer of actions, which is why we do practices like dedicating things to Takura. Okay. So then moving to the last point here in these last few lines, Takura is not, part of, he's not in this cycle of action and inaction. We talked about that. Takura has this knowledge. So for us, we have this Atma within us, which is after that's our true selves, we don't necessarily identify as that. So what does it say in these last 3 lines, verses 15 through 17? Why is it that we, if we have this Atma within us, why do we not recognize that? Why are we unable to see that? And why are we not just all completely enlightened? Gemma, why are we not able to have that ultimate knowledge, even if it is within us?
We're not like we can't have the ultimate knowledge if we're not practicing our devotion properly. So just doing seva and stuff is not gonna ultimately get you there. You have to kind of just put your whole mind towards it.
Right. We and it says it here, and some of you might have heard this word before, Maya. We are wrapped in various delusions, illusions, and our inner knowledge is covered by ignorance. We don't know things without, like Gemma said, trying to know them. So we have to do the work to kind of get past all of the illusions that there are, the delusions we have about who we are, and all of that. And when we can get past the ignorance, when we can find that knowledge through various spiritual practices, like we do seva, we read Thakura's books, we worship him, we have faith in him. All of these practices we talk about and he trains us in and he tells us to do are all with the goal of kind of getting past that ignorance, finding that knowledge. He's trying to lead us to that. But we do have to do work to do that because we are ignorant and we are wrapped in that illusion. So in the end here, when we get that knowledge through our spiritual practices, and he says everything that we do with Takura following his advice, when we get there, then we get that ultimate knowledge and we get to liberation. And that is, for us, we're lucky we have a guru who guides us through that. And following that pathway, that's how we will work through it. And with this, we're out of time, but in more verses, those pathways and what we can do, other practices are things that we will discuss and talk about how to kind of move towards that knowledge as Takura is trying to get us to do. Time, and Shreya has another thing there too. Shreya, when you're ready. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Today I'm blessed to have my Bari and Papavinamaya Seva on Diwali. Though I'm always humbled by the light that we are lucky to have in our Thakura and his advice for us. I'm especially reminded on this occasion how much abundance I have in my life because of him. As I reflect on the time between now and the last time it was my Bari, I realize these past several months have been filled with a tremendous amount of change for me in many, many ways. The biggest being that I've moved and started a new stage of my life and career. And throughout the adjustment, I've realized how dependent I've become on Takura. I would say that I'm generally someone who likes to plan and prepare for most things so that I can feel like I have things under control. But the constant change that has unfolded for me during the past few months has, in its own way, humbled me and reminded me to turn more towards Takura and his advice. It's challenged me to really test how much I'm able to give up my sense of control and just surrender. It's interesting because in our young aspirant sessions, we've of course discussed the various yamas and niyamas at length many times. And each time we talk about them, I had always been a little bit skeptical about how practicing, for instance, Ishvara Pranidhana in particular is possible, before it always felt like the act of surrendering kind of conflicted with the idea of also trying to do your best. And so I wondered sometimes if it's worth taking any action at all, if ultimately whatever is meant for us is going to happen to us. But every day now, I've made it a practice to spend some time letting Takura know what I'm going to do that day before it happens. And immediately I can feel it within me that everything will be okay. And indeed, at the end of the day, when I'm, letting him know again of everything that happened, I feel like I always feel at ease, never bothered by what didn't take place, but encouraged by what did. Of course, that took a lot of time and patience for sure, but I compare this to the rare days that I forget to let Takura know something before I do it, and can certainly feel how restless I am throughout the day. So little by little, I've seen for myself how actually surrendering everything to him helps me feel more in control than when I don't. And it's almost entirely disproven the doubts I used to have before. It's made me feel more at ease with the transitions I've been going through for sure. And I've said this often in our why discussions, but it perfectly embodies my relationship with Takura now. The saying, God doesn't do what we can do, he does what we cannot do. And so constantly reminding myself of this really helps me not only continue to be very, very humble and practice doing the things that Takura has asked us to do, but more importantly, it really helps me remember that I can't depend on him to do what I know I already can. So as long as I can take care of that, he'll find ways beyond my imagination to take care of even the smallest of my worries. So I'm very lucky to experience Takura's care for me in that way consistently, and pray to him that I can continue to experience his light and be an embodiment of it for others too. Jai Guru.
जय गुरु आज श्री ठाकुर महाराज अपार करुणा बलू मत भाव विनिमय आज श्री ठाकुर महाराज पाखे मत मिली श्री ठाकुर महाराज पाद पद्म कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करुच्ची समस्त भाई और माँ मान जय गुरु संभाषण भाव विनिमय विषय एक्चुअली संघर निर्देश अनुसार भाव विनिमय विषय कहया जाए निजर साधन क्षेत्र में केते कौन अग्रगति करछि से विषय आलोचना करी तेणु ये दिन ये भाव विनिमय करवा बहुत कष्ट कारण श्री ठाकुर महाराज सम्मुख जहाँ किसी प्रतिज्ञा करा जाइछि ताकू कहया पड़े तेणु एत सहज नुहे तेणु ए वर्ष आरंभ कार्ड रे आम परिचय पत्र रे लिखा जाइथिबा अनुसार मु जहाँ किसी ठाकुर महाराज पाखे प्रतिज्ञा करुच्ची प्राण प्राणपणे प्रतिपालन करने को चेष्टा करी ये जिनसा लिखाई शेष लिखाई मिथ्या को सत्य द्वारा क्रोध को अक्रोध द्वारा और असाधुता को साधुता द्वारा यू जिन भी कहुई तेणु युड़िक मध्य जेकोसी प्रथम गोटे जेकोसी गोटे प्रतिज्ञा रूपक को पालन करने दरकार तेणु ये वर्ष आरंभ में मुझे ठाकुर पाखे प्रतिज्ञा करी 2023 या भितर कौन गोटे जिनस मुझे सफल हुए क्रोध को अक्रोध द्वारा आ मिथ्या को सत्य द्वारा ये जिनस मुझे ठाकुर महाराज पाखे कही बहुत चेष्टा फल ए किसी अग्रगति करी संपूर्ण भाव मुझे सफल हो पारनी किंतु किसी परिमाण रे सफल होइछि निजर क्रोध को तो संपूर्ण रूपे बस करी हेबो नहीं किंतु कृपा फल रे किसी परिमाण रे मु निज क्रोध को बस करि परछि एवं तार नियम अनुसार हेउछि कि जे जेते कम कथा कहबो आ जेति दरकार सेति कथा कहबो अनधिकार चर्चा करिबा आ ସବୁ ବିଷୟରେ ମନ୍ତବ୍ୟ ଦେବା ଏଇଟା ବି କିଛି ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ। ଆଉ ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା ଯେ ମିଥ୍ୟାକୁ ସତ୍ୟ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଏ କଥା ବି ବହୁତ କଷ୍ଟ। ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ରୂପେ ସଫଳ ହୋଇପାରିନି ଏଥିରେ। ଆଉ ଏ ବର୍ଷ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଯେତେ ସବୁ ଆମର ଉପନିଷଦ, ଯେତେ ଅଷ୍ଟାଦଶ ପୁରାଣ, ଶ୍ରୀମଦ୍ ଭାଗବତ ମହାପୁରାଣ ଯାହା ସବୁ ଅଛି ପଢ଼ିଲା ପରେ ଶେଷରୁ ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା ଉପନୀତ ଯେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମବିତ୍ ଶ୍ରୀ ଗୁରୁଦେବଙ୍କ ବିନା କୃପାରେ କିଛି ସମ୍ଭବ ହେବ ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ ମୁଁ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଯାହା ସବୁ ପ୍ରତିଜ୍ଞା କରିଛି ତାହା ଯେପରି ସଫଳତାର ସହିତ କରିପାରେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରୁଅଛି। ପ୍ରାଣପ୍ରିୟ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜ, ଏବେ ସଂଘାଧିବେଶନ ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ଅଧିବେଶନ ଶେଷ ହେବାକୁ ଯାଉଛି ଏବଂ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ପ୍ରସାଦ ପାଇଁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଛି ଏବଂ ସମସ୍ତ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ଥିବା ସମସ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଅଛି। ଆଉ ଆଜିର ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ନିତ୍ୟ ପୂଜା ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା 6:30ରେ ହେବ, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଅଛି। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
Joy Guru, on behalf of Aram, I invite Sri Thakur, Bhakta Bhai Maj, young aspirant, for our next YA session on Sunday. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru. I invite Sri Thakur and all Bhai, Ma and young aspirants for next Sangha Puja party to be held on November 19th. Please join the puja and make it successful. Jai Guru.
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଆଜିର ସେବାରେ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜ ମୋର ବହୁତ ଅପରାଧ ଏବଂ ତ୍ରୁଟି ହୋଇଛି ଏବଂ ସମସ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମାନଙ୍କର ମଧ୍ୟ ତ୍ରୁଟି ହୋଇଛି। ସେସବୁ ତ୍ରୁଟି ପାଇଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଶ୍ରୀଚରଣ ତଳେ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରୁଅଛି। ସେ କୃପା କରି ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ସ୍ୱୀକାର କରନ୍ତୁ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଦୟାମୟ ଶ୍ରୀ ଚରଣେ ଏହି ନିବେଦନ ନିରନ୍ତର ତବ ନାମ କରିବି ସ୍ମରଣ। ଏହା ଛଡ଼ା ନ ରହିବ ଇତର କାମନା। ଏହା ଛଡ଼ା ନ ରହିବ ଇତର କାମନା। ଏହି ମାତ୍ର ଭିକ୍ଷା ମୋର ଏତିକି ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା। ଏହି ମାତ୍ର ଭିକ୍ଷା ମୋର ଏତିକି ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା। ତୁମେ ପ୍ରଭୁ ମୋହି ଦାସ ଏହି ଅହଙ୍କାର। ତୁମେ ପ୍ରଭୁ ମୋହି ଦାସ ଏହି ଅହଙ୍କାର। ଏକମାତ୍ର ଜୀବ ପ୍ରବଳ ସଂସ୍କାର ଦେବ। ଏକମାତ୍ର ଜୀବ ପ୍ରବଳ ସଂସ୍କାର। ଏଥିଲାଗି ଯେବେ କାଳେ ନ ମିଳେ ମୁକ୍ତି। ଏଥିଲାଗି ଯେବେ କାଳେ ନ ମିଳେ ମୁକ୍ତି। তথাপি রখিবি মনে অনন্ত ধ্রুপতি দেব তথাপি রখিবি মনে অনন্ত ধ্রুপতি তুমরি দৃষ্টি ভিতরে তুমরি জগতে তুমরি দৃষ্টি ভিতরে তুমরি জগতে পড়িথিবি যহি তহি তুমরি ইঙ্গিতে পড়িথিবি যহি তহি তুমরি ইঙ্গিতে হংস পরে রচনার অভিনব রূপ হংস পরে রচনার অভিনব রূপ দেখি দেখি আসি জীব অসল স্বরূপ দেব দেখি দেখি আসি জীব অসল স্বরূপ মিলাই ন পারে যেবে তব যন্ত্রে স্বর মিলাই ন পারে যেবে তব যন্ত্রে স্বর তব নামে বাই জীবি ভঙ্গা বীণা মোর তব নামে বাই জীবি ভঙ্গা বীণা মোর শুণু বা ন শুণু কেহি থিব অহংকার শুণু বা ন শুণু কেহি থিব অহংকার তুমে প্রভু মুহি দাস এতিকি সংস্কার দেব তুমে প্রভু মুহি দাস এতিকি সংস্কার প্রেমময় শ্রীচরণে করে নিবেদন প্রেমময় শ্রীচরণে করে নিবেদন তুম জয় গাউথিবি সারা জীবন দেব তুম জয় গাউথিবি এ সারা জীবন জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় 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 জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় 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 গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় 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 জয় গু
जय श्री श्री ठाकुर प्रेमानंदे बोले भगवान श्री श्री गुरु महाराज जय जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु।
जय गुरु भाई माने माँ माने दुटा कथा कहर अच्छी। प्रथम कथा गुरुदास भाई भाव विनिमय बेस भल लगे ये ठाकुर जहाँ कहते से अनुसार भाव विनिमय कले माने ठाकुर वाज भेरी डिरेक्ट अबाउट इट जे तुम आध्यात्मिक पथ गति कले कौन सुविधा असुविधा हो कौन कर कौन न कर कौन असुविधा होता कह आम खाली जी कहवा आज भल गीत बोला भल पाठ पढ़ा यहाँ ठाकुर निर्देश विरुद्ध ठाकुर से आज भल पढ़ा कि भल गीत बोला आम कौन करुँचे कौन असुविधा सुविधा होती कह कथा समस्त आम टे गुरुत्व दबा जे आटलिस्ट ये गोटे ठाकुर ये गोटे आदेश तो पालन करने चेष्टा करवा। द्वितीय कथा तार हूँ जदि आम कि गोटे भाई जी कहले सी कहले मुझे क्रोध अक्रोध द्वारा जय कर चेष्टा करी सेमती आम कि गोटा न धरवा गोटे माने अवलम्बन न धरवा जे ठाकुर ये आदेश वर्ष सारा पालन करी मोर भाव विनिमय से व्यक्त करी मुझे करने चाहिए करी कि नकरी कौट असुविधा कौन होगा आम कि नकरी सेमती माने गदालिका प्रभाव चली कि हम नहीं तेनाली समझे चिंता करूँ कौ ठाकुर कौ आदेश पालन करी आते लक्ष्य रखी कौन सुविधा असुविधा होफल मो भाव विनिमय कह जय गुरु। आ द्वितीय कथा कहला जे आमर विश्वधाई इमेल आप देखी थे पूजा कमिटी रिपोर्ट जाती गोटे कथा हूँ जो विजन कमिटी गोटे रिपोर्ट देती आप दया पढ़ु आम सम्मिलनी जो होता है जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग से आम कहूँ माने कमिटी को 4 मास समय दि जाता नवेम्बर मस सुधा रिपोर्ट दाखल कराला रिपोर्ट देती सो प्लीज रीड थ्रू दैट इफ यू हैव नॉट ऑलरेडी डन दैट आदि किसी क्वेश्चन थाए हम पचारि पारे कमिटी को आम नेक्स्ट संघ पूजा नेक्स्ट सप्ताह आमर गोटे टे सर्ट कराब सो दैट आम जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग हम विशुद्ध आम माने वाई सेशन हम ना से बंद कर दिया ना विशुद्ध
आज्ञा हबनी वाई सेशन हब नहीं नेक्स्ट संडे
हाँ नेक्स्ट संडे वाई सेशन हम से जगह बंद करके जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग करवा कर अप्रूव करला परे देन विल फॉर्म डिफरेंट कमिटीज सो दैट वी कैन मूव फॉरवर्ड अभी जरा अछि कि सिधै
नहीं आ किछ नहीं से तो कमिटी तरफ पठाइतला से फाइल टाको समस्त देखिबे विजय किछ कहया चाहछंती मीटिंग पूर्वरु किछ विजय भाई अच्छा लाइन रे विजन कमिटी रो मुख्य किछ कहया
जय भाई माने आगु जदी पढिबे आ ता पूर्व आपण कहितले जे माने हमरो समय एफिशिएंट हबा को आ डिस्कशन मीनिंगफुल हबा को जदी वी कैन हैव एनी डाउट्स अच्छी आपण कहितले पचारि परिबे हमको मथे कि कमिटी काको की परिचालन कमिटी रो तन करिए इट विल बी मोर विगरस डिस्कशन ऑलरेडी आम किछटा पाइछु हाउ दैट वे एटा समस्तंकर सेवा खाली विजन कमिटी की जन दि जनकर न होई कि समस्तंकर एटा अपॉर्चुनिटी सेवा पाई कि जमती ब्रज भाई कहले जे ठाकुर कहचंती जे तमे मो काम कर मु तमर समस्त भार नौच कामटा सी परोपकार और जगतितर कर्म आमको जीवन टाक दवा संघ नारायण सेवा करने को जो संघ फॉर्म करते ठाकुर and this could be a medium to do that. So say sokase a very effective medium to do that. So joy guru seti kochi amale amar to achi next next sangha pujare discussion achi. So even inviting young aspirants to join in like they did during Samlani, ଆଉ ସେମାନେ ହିଁ यार vigorously lead ନେଇଥିଲେ ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କର representation ଅଛି ଏ କମିଟି ରେ ତେଣୁକରି ମୁଁ young aspirants को ଆମର ମଧ୍ୟ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରୁଛି ସେମାନେ ତାକୁ ପଢିକି to join in
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଥିଲା ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଜିନିଷ ହେଉଛି ଆମର ଆସନ୍ତା ବର୍ଷ ସମ୍ମିଳନୀ AMSAS ସମ୍ମିଳନୀ ହବ ଜୁଲାଇ 4, 5, 6 ଡେଟ୍ ଫିକ୍ସ କରାଯାଇଛି। ଆଉ ତାପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଜଣେଇ ଦିଆଗଲା ସେ ଅନୁସାରେ ଆର ପଦକ୍ଷେପ ଗୋଟେ ନିଆଯିବ ଯାହା ସବୁ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଷ୍ଟେପ୍ ଯାହା ହେବା କଥା ମାନେ କେନ୍ଦ୍ରରେ କୁଟୀର ଠାକୁର ଜଣେଇବା କଥା ଜଣେକି ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରିବା କଥା ସେଇଟା ସବୁ ହବ। ତେଣୁ ଆମର ତାରିଖ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଫିକ୍ସ କରାଯାଇଛି ସେଇଟା ଇମେଲ ପଠାଯାଇଛି ଜୁଲାଇ 4, 5, 6 ଅଧିବାସ ହେଉଛି ଜୁଲାଇ 3 ସେଇଟା ଯେଉଁଠି ୱେନସଡେ। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଜିନିଷ ହେଉଛି ଆମର ନାରାୟଣ ସେବା ଏ ବର୍ଷର ନାରାୟଣ ସେବା କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ଆମେ ଆନାଉନ୍ସ କରିଥିଲୁ। ଆଉ ତାପରେ ଆମର କମିଟି ଗୋଟେ ଫର୍ମ କରାଯାଇଛି। କମିଟି ମେମ୍ବର ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ସବୁ ଅଶ୍ୱିନୀ ଭାଇ, ରଶ୍ମି ଚୌଧୁରୀ ମା, ଇପ୍ସିତା ମା, ସୁପ୍ରୀତ ଭାଇ, ଅମିତା ଭାଇ। ସେମାନେ ସେଟାକୁ ଟିକେ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋର କରିକି କ'ଣ କ'ଣ କରାଯାଇପାରିବ ଏ ବର୍ଷ ଡିସେମ୍ବର ସୁଦ୍ଧା ଆମର ଯେଉଁ ଅଛି $3000 ବଜେଟ୍ କରାଯାଇଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ହେବା ପାଇଁକା ସେଇଟାକୁ ସେମାନେ ସେ ଦେଖିବେ। ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ କମିଟି ଫର୍ମ କରାଯାଇଛି ଲାଷ୍ଟ ସଣ୍ଡେ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ତ we will go to attendance କିଛି ଅଛି କାହାର କିଛି ଏ ବିଷୟରେ? ହଉ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଅମିତା ଭାଇ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଆସନ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ସେ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ଗତକାଲି ଆଉ ଗୁରୁଦାସ ଭାଇ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଏଠି। ପଦ୍ମିନୀ ମା ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଅଞ୍ଜନା ମା
ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଅଶ୍ୱିନୀ ଭାଇ
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ସଂଘମିତ୍ରା ମା
ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ବରଦା ଭାଇ
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। સોનિયા ମା
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ବିଜୁ ଭାଇଟେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ବିଜୟ ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ସୁମି ମା
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ବିନୟ ଭାଇ ଅରୁ ମା ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ ବେହେରା ଭାଇ
ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ବିଶ୍ୱ ଏଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି ମା ବି ଏଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି ଭକ୍ତି ଏଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି। ବିଶ୍ୱରଞ୍ଜନ ଭାଇ
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ରଶ୍ମି ପଣ୍ଡା ମା
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ମା। ବୃନ୍ଦାନ ଭାଇ
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ। ପଦ୍ମା ମା
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ମା। ଚିନ୍ମୟୀ ମା
ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଦେବ ଭାଇ लीना माँ देवाशीष भाई
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। देवी प्रसाद दास भाई सोनालिसा माँ देवी सामल
भाई जय गुरु। बिना भाई मु थिलु अच्छो भाई जय गुरु।
और माँ जय गुरु। बिना भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु।
आज्ञा हाँ भल आज्ञा। देवी सामल भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। स्निग्धा माँ
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। दीप्ति माँ
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। गुरुदास भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। ज्ञान भाई गुरु ठाकुर को शिवानी दीदी अच्छा स्वाति माँ
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। ईश्वर भाई
भाई जय गुरु। मानंद
जय गुरु भाई। प्रज्ञा माँ जय गुरु। किशोर भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। वंदिता माँ
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। लिप्सिता माँ नांती। महेश भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। रश्मि माँ
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। मानस भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। प्रज्ञा माँ
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। मोनालिसा माँ निहार भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। अर्पिता माँ पल्लविता माँ ओके हाँ जय गुरु। पल्लविता माँ
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। जय गुरु माँ। प्रभाकर भाई अच्छा माँ भी अच्छा। प्रवीणा माँ
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु माँ। प्रवीर भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। मधुस्मिता माँ
जॉइन करना थे
भाई जय गुरु। प्रणेश भाई
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। तापरे रवि भाई गीता माँ, रमा भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। कल्पना माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। संदीप भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। संजीत भाई अछंती, जय गुरु। तापर सौमेंद्र भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। सुभाषिष भाई, शिवानी महांती माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। बल्लता माँ, जय गुरु। शिशिर भाई, सोनाली माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। और सौम्य भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। अमृता माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। सुब्रत भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। सुश्री माँ,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु माँ। मिलू माँ, सुधासिनी पंडा माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। सुकांत भाई, सुप्रिया माँ, सुप्रीत भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। सस्मिता माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। सूर्यकांत भाई, सुकन्या माँ, शुभेंदु भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। स्वप्नेश्वर भाई,
जय गुरु भाई। भाई अच्छे
माँ, जय गुरु। तारिणी भाई, आराधना माँ, ठाकुर प्रसाद भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। त्रिनाथ भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। प्रियमदा माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। उषा माँ, जय भक्त भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु भाई। पूजा माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। तो वेदवती माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। बाणी भाई, बाणी माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु माँ। लिपिका षडंगी माँ, प्रीति पायल माँ, तनिमा आसचंती, आसन मध्य अच्छी। सूर्यचंद्र देव भी सकाल आसते आज। डौली माँ,
जय गुरु।
माँ, जय गुरु। ओके, अटेंडेंस सरला। क्या ना छाड़ दी कहे हाँ ताल हो गला आमर अटेंडेंस। आ कह कि अच्छी डिस्कसन करने को टाइम भी हो गला ताल रहा ताले हो आमर है नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट वीक आम अच्छी जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग आउ थे समस्ते चेष्टा करेंगे जॉइन करने। जय
जय।
गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय जय गुरु